It's the church. I'm convinced the local church is uniquely positioned and equipped to make a significant impact on the first 1,000 days of a life. And God has had us on a very exciting journey here at the Bay. And I believe there are opportunities for local churches across the country to join hands in serving the youngest and most vulnerable children in our communities.
That first 1,000 days from conception to age 2 is when all of the stimulation and brain growth is happening. So everything that child is exposed to helps them to create connections between one thing and the other. And in doing that, their brain grows up to 80% of its adult growth in that time. I was really excited when I heard about the Church and Early Life from Common Good when they came to present it. I'd just been through a phase where I was asking God, what now? What is my role? Where do you want me to go? I want to help people and I love moms and babies. And so at that exact time, Common Good came to the Bay and decided to share their findings with us. And I sat there in one of those chairs and I thought, wow, God, that is an answer. That's my answer. Jo and I were at the same research presentation, and I think she was probably sitting there having the same feelings as I was having.
And it was kind of, yes, this is exactly it. It just resonated. And then I literally bumped into Michelle afterwards, who was also just saying, wow, this is exactly what I've been feeling and thinking. I think it just put words to what was already here. And we had no idea what was on the heart of the leadership.
What was really amazing for us that we didn't realize at the time was that God had really been speaking to our leadership and especially to Errol about similar things regarding families and really the need to support families as a whole. So when we did start those conversations, the excitement was amazing to see on Errol's face.
So when the first 1,000 days was introduced to us, it connected all the dots and it provided all the answers to some of the questions we had as a leadership. For me as an elder and a leader in the life of the church, we saw this as a priority because we've seen the fruits of that as people grow older. So why not start when they are younger? Why not start and invest from that early age and see the benefits down the line? And so what the research has helped is to understand how critical it is to look at a child's life and to look at the journey that child takes. And so we could then look at how we are journeying with them because we see people every day.
It was definitely the angle of the research question that really helped me to see things in a different light. How the church is already equipped to support people in the first 1,000 days with those building blocks without any special extra skills or programs, and made me realize that I don't need anything special. I don't need a clinic. We don't need a massive team of people or courses or programs. We just need to be the hands and feet of Jesus and provide the things that he's already taught us as Christians to bring to a community and to our communities and our families.
I guess the church is family, and I think for us that's really key. And to look at the fact that it's not an institution, it's not a club. So there's other amazing services out there, but you make an appointment to go to them. But the church is about relationships. So we build those relationships, and then you're intentional about creating things around that where people have that needed support and care.
So what we did is we used one Sunday, and particularly Michelle and Jo came to share their heart about what they felt. And as a leadership, we shared our hearts around it. And we invited the church, firstly, to look at how we look at the building and how it gets used. And we looked at inviting people who would like to be part of that journey. And we had a very, very big response. It's created a sense of community and understanding that we're all part of this journey together. And it's not an isolated experience. It's been a beautiful journey to see it come together. It's been phenomenal.
So right at the beginning, we started with a couple of home visits, just with moms that we knew that were pregnant, went to their homes and just got to know them and offered some support. And from there, we started to consult some of the moms in the church and say, well, if we had to offer anything for the first 1,000 days, what are the types of things that you feel you would need? And from there, we've started a Sunday morning group.
Our mother and babies room has become a facilitated space, basically. So rather than people just disappearing into there and trying to cope, trying to sort out a screaming child, there's actually somebody there who can give some support and help. And I know, being a mum myself too, you know, you often think, I've just got to cope. And I think that's how we are. But if you're struggling to cope, then that is going to come out in some way to do with your child too. So obviously stress and depression. I think depression is a very hidden thing too. And I think I've actually heard from, I would say, 4 out of the 5 mums in my group that they were all depressed at some point and they didn't know where to go to.
I would say the first 1,000 days is important to everyone, because it doesn't matter what your need or your provision is or what your circumstances are. All of us will need support in one of those areas. Even if you have enough to provide your child with adequate nutrition, you may feel isolated and not have enough family support to be able to respond to your child well in that love foundation phase.
I think I love the description of how when a baby is in the womb, it's protected by that womb. But we all need that. We all need a place where we're protected and cared for and loved and nurtured too. And I think when you're in the situation of being a mum or a primary caregiver, it's often give, give, give. And unless there's things that are put in to replenish that tank, then you run on dry, and that's when the problems start. So I think really it is just that, you know, we need to look that everybody needs that. So we look at providing that for the child, but the mother needs that, or the grandmother needs that too.
So we believe that the church is positioned for impact. We have a mandate, like we believe every church has a mandate. And sometimes our mandates maybe will look different, but in terms of God's tapestry and what He's designed, if we put all of those mandates together, it creates a whole. And that's what we believe we would like to see with Common Good and the network and what we're doing. And as a church, we feel that even your resources must never be your limitations. It's how you, with your heart and your passion and what you believe God is saying, that you'll make things work, that you'll somehow make adjustments where you need to, and also just make a small space available. And out of that, we've seen growth and development take place.
The church is in the community. The church already has credibility. The church has reach. It really would have such an impact if each church reached their community of first 1,000 days. It would change the trajectory of the whole population.